It's my honor to have opportunity to speak for this extremely important conference organized by ITU. And I would like to start my presentation on Innovative CIO, Chief Information Officer, for Global Environment and Disaster Preparedness. Today I want to explain that the correlationship between global environmental and disaster issues and from the aspect of the role of CIOs and universities, and I would like to mention some suggestions. First of all, we need to understand the following two interdependence both between environmental and disaster issues and between the environmental pollutions caused by ICT and the environmental protected by ICT. The first, the environmental pollution such as climate change bring about a natural hazard. The latter is, it is needed to say that the possibilities of ICT will fulfill an important part. In order to reduce the damage of disasters and protect the environment, I think a Chief Information Officer will be key for success. Why I mentioned that the role of CIO is important, they play important roles in the success of innovation since the designation of CIOs is seen as very vital strategy to bridge the gap between the management and technology. And moreover, CIO is becoming very important, and since there is a growing international collaborations to support CIO human resource development for innovations in environment and disaster programs. Under the quantitative change of a CIO after ICT revolutions, according to my research, a new role of CIOs has been born. And for example, business management, enterprise architecture, and security and risk management, and supply chain management, and environmental issues and disaster preventions. It has been acknowledged that the research network for CIO for innovation organized by International Academy of CIO has successfully made a huge synergy among academia, international organizations, and government for the achievement of information society through training, education, and information exchange in ICT. The great efforts by all parties in the terms of experience, knowledge, and know-how regarding the trends and progress and the challenges of ICTs, as well as the role of innovative CIO has also been appreciated, especially in the following areas, such as global e-governance and human resource development for ICT manpower for global environment and management, and the role of ICT in disaster educations. Regarding as a role of CIOs as solution of a protection of environment and disaster reduction. As I said before, that I think the correlationship between environment and disaster is interdependent each other. For example, majority of natural disasters in the world is located in the Asian Pacific regions, and these include earthquake, tsunami, landslides, and volcano eruptions, flood due to typhoons, cyclones, and drought as the most frequent natural hazards. The Asia Pacific is considered as the most devastating and disaster-prone region in the world, not only mention medical-related hazards like epidemics and insect infestations. Asia Pacific can experience and suffer tremendous losses and from several major calamities and disasters during the past decade, including the 1995 Kobe earthquake that killed more than 6,400 people and $85 billion worth of destructions. In 1997, floods alone and caused $7.23 billion worth of damages in several countries. In 1998, the tsunami triggered by earthquakes hit on Papua New Guinea and killed more than 2,000 people in several coastal villages. In 2003, the Bam earthquake in Iran killed at least 40,000 people and destroyed 85% of the building and infrastructures in that area. In December 2004, the Kira tsunami, which occurred in the Indian Ocean, has killed more than 300,000 people. For almost 1.5 decades and devastating back 1990, natural calamities and disasters such as cyclones, floods, and earthquakes cost the region billions of dollars in economic losses. In order to solve these damages, we need to establish infrastructure and develop human resources such as CIOs. So the other side, Japan has a strong innovation policies in the fields of the protection of environment and disaster reduction that the billion are being implemented, such as global environment issues as driver for economic growth and international contributions. Needless to say that Japan has a lot of best practices on disaster management, therefore we need to utilize them and for global environmental issues. As aspect from evaluation of Chief Information Officers for environment and disaster issues, we started to create benchmarks based on the quantitative analysis. It is considered that the tremendous advantage of e-government, e-community strategies, protection of environment, education, and disaster reduction with ICT, positive partnership with the private sector and environment initiatives could lead to good governance and active civic engagement. Therefore, it would be endorsed and encouraged partnership and interactive collaborations among academia and institutions and government and industry is supporting human resource development and requirements in the area of ICT and establishing university training center on both disaster reductions and environmental management. We need to encourage to conduct several workshops, dialogues, and seminars for the benefits of all countries to share experiences and expertise in the related field. These include ICT seminars and encouraging the promoting implementation of environment and disaster reductions. An essential part of the disaster preparedness is the education, since the plan will only be effective if the ultimate beneficiaries know what to do in terms of disasters and know what to expect. Such education may take the following forms: special training courses, and extension and programs, and new university for green IT. As for the education, reducing risk and vulnerability to disasters and environmental hazards requires an individual's understanding of how they can best protect themselves and their property and their livelihood. So disaster reduction, education for risk reduction is an interactive process of common learning between a community of people and institutions. It covers far more than formal education at schools, universities, and training institutions, and involves the recognition and use of the current advancement in technologies and traditional wisdom and local knowledge for protection from the natural calamities and global warming and climate change. So education is conveyed through experience, established and learning arrangement, information technology, staff training, and electric and print media and other means that facilitate the sharing of information and knowledge to citizens, professionals, organizations, and policymakers, among a range of other community stakeholders. So information and communication technology plays a very significant role in environment and disaster is a crucial means which local communities around the world to communicate and convey information effectively and efficiently. So awareness and learning about the risks and dangers of environment and disaster needs to start in early educations, continuing through generation experience and benefits and advantages of ICTs. So conclusion, finally I'd like to mention my conclusion and suggestions. So the occurrence of the hazard or disaster, natural or man-made, is inevitable and unpredictable, not only in Asian Pacific, but also in any part of the world. The most difficult part after a disaster is recovering from its undesirable effects, and psychologically and economically. Moreover, the damage of disasters will lead not only the environmental pollutions, but also and disasters. So the most important is we need to look for the solutions of interdependence between environment and disaster issues, since there will be a double risk and damages. So it will be important for us to establish global clean IT universities in order to get knowledge on solution of these risks. Furthermore, we need to create standardization for a new benchmark of relationship between environment and disaster issues. So we would like you to understand for an important roles of CIOs for environmental issues. Thank you very much.